I was 14 when I told my parents I was gay. I told my dad first, and then Dad told my mum. It didn't go well. You know, you have to understand it was 1996 in Ireland. There was nowhere near as much media attention on the subject as there is now. There was nowhere near as many out celebrities as there is now. So it was, and I know it's a cliche to say, a very, very different time, but it kind of made things quite difficult relationship-wise, particularly with myself and my dad. I kind of very early on made the decision that the only way that I could have any kind of relationship with my parents was if we completely ignored that side of my life. If we didn't engage it, if I almost pretended it didn't exist. Fast forward to last year, and I'd had a play that was on in London called Ward Street, which did quite well, and my parents came over to see it, and they absolutely loved it. And then on the back of that, I was offered a space to put a show on, and I kind of had this idea about setting the show in London 2012 and Russia 2014, and looking at a gay character in each city who is taking part in the opening ceremony and how different their experiences are. And as I was writing it, I found myself really kind of going back to that early experience and kind of my experience of coming out, and kind of put quite a lot of personal stuff in the play. And I rang my dad when I knew the show was definitely going on, and you know, we were kind of having a chat, and he was asking me about the new plays, like, yo, how's it going? Look, there are two characters in the play that are going to be very similar to me and you. And I'd like you to read it because I want you to be okay with it before it goes on. And before he even had the script, he said, you know what, it doesn't matter. He said, it doesn't matter what's in there because, you know, I've changed. I'm a very different person. In the lead up to the play, we had the most open, frank discussions about that area of my life that we have ever had from the moment I came out. And that was, you know what, 16, 17 year gap from the time I came out to the time we had that conversation. You know, I'm blessed to have two incredible people to call mum and dad who have grown and who have moved on as much as I have, and have continued to learn, have continued to go out into the world and continue to change their views. So much so that when I knew the play text was being published, I rang my father and I was like, look, play's been published. I think it would be incredibly powerful if you wrote the foreword for the play. And you know, you have to understand that my dad's not show busy at all. That's not the way he operates. So I knew he'd be a bit resistant. And initially he said no. And then we had a conversation. You know, he said, "Look, just be honest. That's all I want you to do is be honest." And he said he'd have a think about it, and he'd let me know. The world moves on, and so have we. We are proud of all our children, regardless what their sexual orientation is. There are no taboo subjects anymore. I mean, if you told me at 14 years old that fast forward 15 years and I would be holding a play text with my father's words in the front that had changed so dramatically, I probably would have laughed in your face. But you know what? I was brave enough to have the conversation with them. And what's even more crucial is that they were brave enough to have the conversation with me. You know, it's now great to be at a point in my life where I know that if I do find that person, if I do fall in love, then I can bring them back home and they will get the welcome that my parents are famous for. And what would be lovely is to be able to go home to the country I was born in, the country that will always and forever be on my passport, and know that my relationship and my marriage is considered legal. We've been given an incredible opportunity and an incredible chance to really make a change. You know, the fact that this is even on the table proves how far Ireland has moved forward as a country. So just don't presume it's wrapped up. Don't presume that it's going to pass and that marriage equality is going to be the norm this time next year. Because all it's going to take is for all the well-doers and all the well-intentioned yes votes to sit at home on May 22nd and not use the power they have to change the marriage law in Ireland. And all it will take is for the no vote to just have that little bit more of a majority, and that's it. Have the courage to have the conversation with the people in your life. If that conversation hasn't gone well before, then just be brave enough to try again. Because the result, as you can see in my instance, is that not only does it completely change and redefine your relationship, but you get to rediscover your parents all over again and realize how incredible they are. Just have the conversation, ask them if they're going to vote on May 22nd, and more importantly, if they're going to vote yes.